Stop playing this game.
What game? What precisely is the nature of my game?
All your rules and your clothes and all this money and everything is a game.
This was an ambush.
Stop.
Are you sent here to ruin my evening? And possibly my entire life?
Stop it!
Servus Freunde, my name's Jimmy Cage and Phantom Thread is the newest film by one of today's greatest working directors, Paul Thomas Anderson. From Boogie Nights to Magnolia, There Will Be Blood or The Master, each new film has a specific spin and style, and because he also has written all of his screenplays himself, you can call him a real auteur who is in full control of what he's doing. Phantom Thread is no exception. And this time around, he didn't even hire a director of photography, but instead collaborated closely with his camera operators and gaffers. And the cinematography is indeed one of the film's most stunning achievements. I would say the camera, paired with the beautiful, exhilarating classical score by John Greenwood, is what made the introduction to the world Anderson depicts here so easy for me. All of his films since Punch Drunk Love 16 years ago have been period pieces, and this time we enter the fashion world of 1950s London. That might sound rather boring to some people, and I might include myself in that category, but I'm always more interested in the actual film and filmmaking than in the topic that it depicts. Meaning, as long as something is told in a way that's interesting and engaging, it's not that important that it's normally not a subject matter I'm gravitating towards. But I was sucked into this movie from the first moment on when we enter the life of Daniel Day-Lewis's character, Reynolds Woodcock. And yes, it's okay to laugh about his name, because it actually started as a joke that made Anderson laugh so hard he cried. So thanks for keeping it in. Reynolds is a renowned dressmaker, but more so than a craftsman, he sees himself as a true artist, and he's extremely demanding. But to my surprise, it's not so much the fashion world that's front and center in Phantom Thread. I believe you could have interchanged it with something else and still tell a very similar story. At its heart, it's a film about a relationship. The relationship between Reynolds and Alma, played by Vicky Krieps, who is absolutely incredible in this film and appear to effortlessly keep up with Daniel Day-Lewis's performance. Which is a high bar concerning that he's regarded as one of the best, if not the greatest living actor right now. And he's once again on top of his game, becoming one with the role he plays. It might even be his last, as he addressed thoughts about retiring after this. Reynolds, and of course Daniel Day-Lewis, the method actor that he is, was referred to as Reynolds for the whole time of the shoot, is a very peculiar character. A determined bachelor, as he puts it. Not an easy fellow to hang around with, and even less to be emotionally attached to. What other people regard as normal behavior can totally ruin his whole day. The wrong discussion, or just a sound that disturbs his breakfast. But from their first encounter, Reynolds and Alma have this intoxicating romantic tension, and as a viewer you are constantly evaluating each and every scene and little detail the movie has to offer. And it has a lot to offer, but it's in all the tiny nuances that it really shines. In one scene, the relationship between those two characters can shift, and it's a constant recalibration of emotions and power balances. First, Alma seems to be nothing more than just a muse for his work, but step by step it becomes obvious that he needs her much more than he can admit. And it's a relationship formed not just by two people, because Reynolds' his sister, Cyril, played by Lesley Manville, who earned an Oscar nomination for her portrayal, is a crucial part in it as well. Those three complex people are what the movie is all about, and it was fascinating enough to keep my curiosity. Some people criticize that this is yet another statement that a hungry genius like the one portrayed by Daniel Day-Lewis is on some level allowed to get away with abusive behavior. And I agree that he is abusive and intolerable, but the way the power shifts from him to Alma, as their relationship is in constant movement, made it okay for me. But with all this being said, I have to admit that I wanted a little bit more from the movie. The performances are marvelous and the attention to detail astonishing, and yet I couldn't completely shake off the feeling that the whole film played like one overlong but essentially little cruel joke, and one can enjoy the punchline or detest it, but I had a hard time really connecting to the characters as real people. Which was funny because I could actually see myself in many of the different spleens and emotional abysses, and yet I thought that I don't find Reynolds' Woodcock as fascinating as the filmmakers did, and therefore I ended up being far less emotionally engaged than I hoped for. It wasn't as relatable, and therefore the style, the beautiful presentation and the great performances kind of wore off in the course of the movie. Though I have to admit that it's a sight to behold when a filmmaker can craft an enthralling finale that's basically just showing the preparation of a meal. In German I'd say, ich bin etwas zwiegespalten, was Phantom Thread anbelangt, aber sehenswert ist er auf jeden Fall. I give Phantom Thread 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.1, but I don't do that.
Whatever you do it carefully.
Alright, that's it. Like always, comment below and let me know what you think about Phantom Thread. And also let me know what's your favorite film by Paul Thomas Anderson. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for Life to Tell.